answering these questions and just eviscerating people, all the while sitting there and eating bits of muffin and licking his fingers. It's fucking classic.
Well, he also has some sort of beverage here. I don't know if it's seltzer or what, but the other thing, you want to set the visual. Tony Khan is sitting right next to him.
Yeah,
And
18 inches.
it's worth watching the video. Just, you feel bad for Tony in a sense. But it's a real awkward situation because Punk is very free for the moment. You can tell he's just speaking his mind freely. And Tony doesn't know where he's going to go. Well, I guess with that said,
Yes.
I'm counting on you.
I'm a grown-ass adult man, and I decide not to be friends with somebody that's nobody else's fucking business. My friends. If I fall backwards, we'll
Time to pull out all the stops. Am I right?
Never would have.
Thanks. That helped.
I wanted to bring a guy with me to the top that did not want to see me at the top. Okay? Call it jealousy, you call it envy, whatever the fuck it is. My relationship with Scott Fulton ended long before I paid all of his bills. I have every receipt. I have every invoice. I have every email. I have the email where he says, and I quote, "I agree to go our separate ways. I will get my own lawyer, and you do not have to pay anymore." That's an email that I have. And the reason someone did not see is because I finally had to countersue him through discovery. We discovered he shared a bank account with his mom.
That helped.
That's a fact.
It's not, I don't know if that's the L train or something means something. I don't know what that is, but that's what that is.
And as soon as we discovered that fact, we subpoenaed old Marcia. He sent an email, "Oh, can we please drop all this?" Now, it's 2022. I haven't been watching this guy since
I've gathered into your field package. Have a look at them later.
The fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage it. They're spending lies and bullshit. Do not care. Eats where he sleeps. The fact that I have to get up here for this
Thanks. That helped. That helped.
Slow down, but slow down, please.
They specialize in douchebaggery, so it's not like you get ticked off at them. So at the same day, it's like the douchebaggery builds up, but I knew from the start I would be in the fucking building with any of them. And now, folks had enough. But anyway, let's go back to the deal.
I just made it really clear in Forbes, and I just want to make it clear again.
It's not his position to make it very fucking clear. There's people who call themselves EVPs that should have fucking known better. This shit was none of their business. I understand sticking up for your fucking friends. I fucking get it. I stuck up for that guy more than anybody. Okay? I paid his bills until I didn't, and it was my decision not to.
Yeah, but I should have no comment when Nick first said it. It's my fault.
I appreciate it.
I'm taking a head out.
But I'm trying to run a fucking business, and when somebody who hasn't done a damn thing in this business jeopardizes the first $1 million house that this company has ever drawn off of my back and goes on national television and does that, it's a disgrace to this industry, it's a disgrace to this company. Now, far beyond politics, right? I gave him a fucking chance. It did not get handled, and you saw what I had to do, which is very regrettable, lowering myself to his fucking level. But that's where we're at right now. And I would still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have a fucking problem with me, take it up with me. Let's fucking go. What's your question, Nick?
Yes.
Here's another thing, it was an awkward position because that's where you had to win the belt for page. Right? Here's the thing, you look back at the old days since Punk has somewhat of a mindset. If that had been business for himself with live TV, tries to marry together. Then Harley Race may have walked back and asked Tony Khan, so, well, who am I wrestling in the main event on your $1 million house now? Just like Steve Austin called Vince McMahon up that time about Mark Barrow after he got powerbombed by Sabre. That's what he's talking about, Jeff, because if the guy double crosses Punk on a promo on live TV, who's to say he's not going to double cross him when he's fucking laying there and the jack-off's going to come off the top rope?
Yeah, really. I like Cabana enough to sabotage this on live TV, but I don't like him enough to punch you in the mouth when you're not ready for it.
Yeah. So, and then what's Punk going to have to do? He's going to have to fucking defend himself, which, again, with me, kids, he's looking at me.
So let's over here.
Since he's a goddamn, obviously a mealy mouth
I have an update.
that has to be an empty head that has to, do shit like that is going to come up in the guy's face. So that they must still
Keep your mind sharp.
Made the phone and the fucking banging down and that's some of that UFC training. And it's there. So that's great. That's
And against it's often being big hills, he always has to questions. Is that Chicago's fucking beat anything it's doing. There's more to say if you're
The big stars companies, one of these events a year ago, and I thought he said, all the freaking damn time, Chris constantly has another one to big match. I like how this is playing out.
It's his fault. Shit, all that it tells you, like, that's why.
Let's go!
get your niche audience.
Hey, here's your slow down.
Stepping on your own dick, trying to fuss,
The
make
light
money,
bulbs will
sell
light up.
tickets, fill arenas.
People to use them.
Guys, you see it. Wow.
There were guys that had come from a band, even had lines that were friends. I mean, it was entirely repetitive. And they took the majority of that clip. I like it. Playing out. Let's not even forget about the fact that it's close. It's animated by the candy.
Yes, maybe.
Stay focused.
Behind the scenes stuff maybe with these people.
So let's take our time.
There's going to be still some stuff to say.
Last time we were here last year, I asked you about Carrie Plunkett and what like our legacy going on. Kind of, and this is for you too, Tony. I kind of like, you've done a great job of incorporating the legacy throughout, with AEW and everything goes on. I don't want to see what you feel about how on the modern topic today, how to utilize some of the advice and take advice from like guys like William Regal and even like Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone. I know Jake Roberts, plenty of this before, but I just kind of want to get both your perspectives on that. I can kind of go a little bit more to help you guys out with the company.
We have a locker room full of pretty brilliant minds. Jerry Lynn, Dean Malenko, Mark Henry. When I came back, when I got my home with my second week here, that was pretty decent. You know what I mean? Kind of blows the lines a little bit. It's good, crazy hell. Going into business for myself, really defending myself. But you mix that in, attacking Moxley, you mentioned, Kingston being the second best Kingston, which is a pretty great line. But our line. For all the wisdom and brilliance it has. These guys can tell me how to swim baseball. Fucking go fuck yourself. Yeah, I dare you to fucking say that with Terry Funk's face. I don't need to listen to you, Mr. Funk. I know what I'm doing.
Facial expressions were great. And of course, he's referencing what we talked about a couple weeks ago that Hangnail Page did an interview. So, I guess some people try to give me advice. I don't think I really need to take advice. You started this revolution and you've done pretty good, so I really need to take advice. Yes, Mr. Funk, I don't need to listen to you.
Oh my God. Can you imagine the frustrations, though? I mean,
Here's this is the kind of media scrum you would run for everybody promotions in 1986, and you'd count the guys out for a long show until 2 o'clock in the morning and talk to a room full of 6 reporters. This is
let's get a little bit more audio. I think the only other thing of note, I'm trying to scan through our notes here, we have Wrestling News at thewrestlingnews.com, or if you find your favorite podcast, we have a great news team, Jason Nakarada and everyone else helping out. And let's get into this. This was an news. CM Punk gets ready to
Some people were standing. I'm very sad.
Or not, and knows that he has whether it's the pull, the gravitas, or whatever, to be able to tell the truth and speak out about something without having to worry about getting fired. And find out what happens. They're used to playing with children, because they are children themselves mentally and in some cases physically. Some people in the wrestling business don't want to play like children.
And not too many people have been able to speak out. Because, again, not everyone is in a position where they can feel comfortable that they could do something like this. They can't fuck with CM Punk. He's kind of invincible. But they can fuck with everyone else.
That was part of the problem with the WWE couldn't fuck with him either, because he had the power, the privilege, the inclination to just say, fuck you, I'll go home. Until I'm going to do something else that I'm going to do, which he did. And you can't fuck with that.
We've been saying it for a while.
Anything gets
Say it
your
again
eye?
so people aren't completely shocked. There are going to be more and more stories coming out of AEW. Coming out of AEW.
AEW? Yeah, when you wonder how they make their root beer, chimpanzee piss is a fucking secret ingredient.
That's actually this episode, but there's going to be stories coming out of there in the years ahead about the behavior of the executive vice presidents, about the behavior of Kenny. And don't be surprised. The guys that went out of their way to try to present their version of things to a lot of people, that they were the good guys and everyone else is wrong, that these are the bad guys. The guys who are full of shit. And the guys who try to fuck over anyone who's not in their clique. Don't be surprised when you hear more about this. We've been telling you about it for a while.
Ready to work.
Guys with laughter. And we've been telling you about it for a long time. Now it's out in the open. Now no one can deny it.
Now that's a
Or
good
it's-
choice.
We've been talking about this shit for a couple of years now, at least.
That's true.
Right.
But also, this episode is going to be Melees, Tramps, and Thieves.
You know, we usually don't have titles for the drive-through, but we'll see what happens. But
It's up for grabs. Melees, Tramps, and Thieves, or Chimpanzee Piss.
you know that press scrum, and more audio from the remainder of the scrum later in the show, was really something. I mean, if you really want to do a media scrum with the wrestling media, that's how you do it. You get headlines, you get someone talking real.
Yeah.
Good to have you. You're the only one who can manage this quest, Hunter. Thanks! That helped! Right.
It's incredible.
It wasn't a crummy scrum.
No, but it was.
Very careful.
Hello again, friends. The Great Realize here. You
Oh,
think
it's
we're back with
making
another
me
special edition, a breaking news edition, whatever show this is. Of course, generally Mr. Jim Cornette. There's so much more.
Listening that they're focusing on us this weekend alone. And this is not that podcast because we've stopped watching that wrestling and recording that podcast, the Jim Cornette Experience, by the way. Richie Rich has put together based on his teenage fantasies of winning everybody that had $1 million, or at least had a family that had $1 million. See, and channeled to the Mediterranean. He was sitting in his fucking basement collecting action figures and now he's just love kissing her hair, just over her face. Did you? Please be slow. Get your shit and do this shit again. Yeah. Face like anybody else. They're expensive.
And go back to the hotel.
I'll sit tight here.
Thanks. That helped.
Make sure to grab anything in
As a result, we recycling yours. The other thing was your
There's other people to work with. I think what you may see keeping people away, people who have options, let's put it that way. You have people who are waiting for any offer to get. It's Tony. Because we talked about it early on. There have been episodes like the one we're witnessing right now where it really explodes and people see it. And from the very beginning, there have been structure issues with AEW. Management issues with AEW. Leadership with AEW. And frankly, the guy who owns the company or partially owns it, his dad, wants to party with the wrestlers, eat out with the wrestlers, hang out with the wrestlers, and then cook the wrestlers. And it doesn't necessarily mean he wants to make it. So you have somebody in their relationship. Next week we go, oh yeah, I have to go to Chicago. In AEW, it's just chaos, and it's a mess. You see Punk issues. They've died out now. What was it with the AEW issues with the Punk?
It was just the lightning rod because you have in their mouth. but his wife died. And you've seen this. Some detectives
It's not about music. If Tony wasn't the son of a gun, and if we all and if all the privileges that he has, the football team, And I believe that you will so
He's been a wrestling fan for this long and he never dreamed anything like this would happen. He's taken a job he's not prepared to do because he's not mentally or emotionally equipped for it. It's the first 50 or 60 times that some of the fans punched me in the face or came after me or blew my nose or gave me
There's a monster nearby. Tread carefully.
This one's fairly potent.
Scared in that situation. It was random, strange people.
There's a monster nearby. Tread carefully.
Me not having a fight in my general area.
And again, nails lunged at Vince McMahon, they were in a room by themselves. Damage could be done.
The monster is after
This
you.
same Punk Tony Colonel that is lunging. So Tony also tried to give a very similar statement in front of the live audience in Chicago at the United Center, and very similar phrasing. Obviously, there were terms and phrases that he was either told to memorize or told to say or remembered from the cue cards. I don't know.
But instead of 90 seconds, because he wouldn't read it off the teleprompter, it took him about 6 minutes. Also, because the people were moving building like the hunter that killed Bambi's mother.
And he sat down in a chair. And I believe it was
This one's
6
fairly
minutes
potent.
until 6 minutes of that while the people were going. Like Spalding Gray with no self-awareness.
First of all, the discipline committee, not even the disciplinary committee, but the discipline committee. AEW has a discipline committee. First, we've all heard of it. Has anybody ever been disciplined before? And who is on this discipline committee that made
There's a
this
monster
unanimous
nearby.
recommendation?
Careful.
Again, is it Maddie? Is it Nikki? Is it Jim? Is it on the discipline committee? Who knows who it is? Because there isn't one. They made it up for this occasion. And
This one's fairly potent.
he said, I feared for my, not only I feared for my production beat, like Punk was back there with the hockey stick. The tape on you.
It's not just about Joe. Joe is a part of their locker room.
Yeah, he's one of their stooges. If anything happens,
You texting Kenny right away. So the question becomes, why do you feel comfortable enough to do that? They know how volatile CM Punk is. We all know that. Whether you take his side or not, you kind of know what to expect. You have to know what to expect from a jacket. He felt comfortable enough to do that because he knew it was on who he was going to be in.
and basically, again, Tony's sitting there.
This one's fairly
Been meeting
potent.
him, calling it to Tony's attention Let's say Tony was at the monitor but didn't see that particular thing. Somebody else is whispering at him. If Punk called his attention to it, Tony should have been the first one to meet Jack Perry coming through. But he's not going to do that because he's not going to fucking tell
You're going
anybody
to run out of breath.
when they do something wrong. And if Tony
Take a moment to catch your
then he
breath.
should have been the first one. But same thing. So it's left to get this little fucking prick. Not even a goddamn guy that allegedly is being presented on my level, but just somebody fucking good that thinks he's hot. I'm surprised he didn't just fucking drop him when he came through.
Anyway, I'm watching now, and I've not seen this. You retweeted it, actually. That was Shawn Michaels' 1997 S. After collision and after the Young Bucks went in for a victory lap
Yes,
in Chicago.
yeah, so they tweeted that. Then here, it's apropos of this is how CM Punk's running AEW ends with the Young Bucks taking a victory lap in an empty building.
Do you agree? Because of the variety of circumstances from all parties, that this is the best outcome. This is the right thing right now for everyone.
Yes, because as I said, sometimes the bad guys win. They got what they wanted. Tony's too reckless to do anything about it. But these people didn't have to put up with these fucking people anymore. And he can go on to
Hi, Andrew.
Survivor Series and the termination
Hello?
clause, we have to investigate whether there's any
Oh,
non-compete as a result of that.
Yeah, go.
Whether that may be tied up in court or whatever, but he can go on because now he's the hottest. He's in business as far as people talking about him. And he can translate the momentum that he had and the news that he made and the attention that he got on WWE television in front of a much larger audience into more money. And he will not be having fights with goddamn people because they don't do that there. Because they know who's running the fucking show, and it won't be anybody explaining it. But as long as they give him, I would think, the level of input that they give the Codys and the Romans and the whoever the fuck else, and he's got a history with Heyman. I don't know how they are these days.
I mean, you can't do what Heyman is with Roman Reigns, but he got fired in the cause. So let's play with the idea that he's with I know, but what I was going to say is that he was with Heyman before. But you can't, let's just say that happened right now. You couldn't really do this way. But if he was fired in the cause, Bobby Heenan was going to just have someone show up at the end of Raw and say, I have here the championship of the real world champion. He never lost that belt, the real world champion, CM Punk.
That's what I say. It's better for Punk because he just needs to move on and do 2 years in with the big boys. And he doesn't put up with all that bullshit anymore. It's better for who's in their ilk because they don't have somebody that's going to show them up and get in their way and stop them from doing the stupid things that they do and or just show that they're not the big names in the company. The only people that it's detrimental to are Tony, for all the business reasons, and us, and all the fans, because now we can't even watch a good show on Saturday night.
Are we still going to watch Collision?
I don't know whether anybody's still going to watch Collision.
Because it was rough. It was rough this past week.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Let's give it 2 or 3 weeks to see if it turns into Rampage, and we'll know by then. But it'll also be interesting to see if they apply their Wednesday formula to Saturday. The Saturday program that's been holding its audience. Will that happen, or will the same thing happen does on Wednesday? They go, okay, I've seen 45 minutes or an hour of this fucking same old shit. I can leave that. We'll see what happens to their numbers and to their patterns. And to the quality, which we already are seeing. But it penalizes the fans, and it penalizes us that has to watch it. But it's best for everybody who's making money out of the situation.
Maybe Punk could run his own show in Chicago. We can call it Somewhat In.
Ooh, I like that. Or, how about this? he can do 2 shows every year. One is see him in, and the other one is see him out.
Well, I guess they're going to have to take place Labor Day weekend if we go based on his prior successes with youth events.
That would be the one where he sees him out.
Any final thoughts on this? I mean, it's been such a crazy turn of events. Every time something happened, another thing was reported. Every time you talk about that, another thing happened.
Yes, they went from the start, and they knew what they could do. They knew that they could get away with anything because of Tony. And they, I mean, the Cucamonga kids, the Lollipop Killer. They didn't want him there to begin with. Their good friend, and they had sabotaged this since the start. It didn't help them. It helped them that Funk got injured because he was gone the first time. He was gone for a while. They decided edition. We're going to drop this special episode and get right back to recording the episode. We're recording. As all this happened, there's still that 5 pay-per-views this weekend and a multitude of events to watch, but I think we can close the doors on the CM Punk. The CM Punk will begin. There in Chicago. He's going to have as a tactical though, because of what it means. He's going to clean the United Centers and see if he can hit them. Hey, one last question for you before we wrap this up. Based on the limited feedback you've seen already on social media, whatever you've seen on the ratings, the people who didn't like CM Punk, fans I'm talking, who were just all about the Bucks, maybe just not about the drama. Whatever it was, they didn't want to see him come there. If they're as happy as the fans who feel disappointed and upset with either his decision making or what Collision now is, or the promise AEW, whatever it is, or the people happy that Punk is taking on the kid. Nobody else in this bar has any kids.
Carla does.
No!
Look, I am not going to have a baby until I know I'll be a good parent.
Taking care of Mom's kids is not going to prove that you're a good parent. It just proves that you can survive in the wild.
I'm going to take care of the kids. Is that okay with you? All of them? Oh, the whole night. I don't have to be there? No? Bless you.
Look, stop it. Listen.
We did it Saturday.
Hey, come on, honey, it's not too late. Maybe Freddie can squeeze us in.
A whole night without my kids. Thank you, St. Jude. Thank you, St. Claus Boxes. I prayed for this day for 18 years.
Oh, there's a place that's only available right now.
This, I I am blessed. I am truly blessed.
You realize that you're the same height kneeling down as you are standing up?
All we have to do is find someone.
Oh, yeah. Happier than how upset the
Let's
people
be on our
were
way.
disappointed the people who were disappointed.
Let's show everyone how it's done.
So,
Me neither. Me neither.
because
Calm down.
you know, obviously the buckaroo bonsais out there didn't want Punk, and they're happy he's gone, right? And he was the root of all evil. And so they get the wrestling business. So even if they were and Tony, his voice,
What's in the video?
He did not tell what the incident was.
Sounds like he's telling Punk's owners, all the various people that he sat down and talked to that decision to do something.
It's so ridiculous.
That helped.
He's just such a Casper Van spot. Yes, they have backstage attendance. This time, it is that's something I'm And that's why 6 months into this thing, the WWE stopped offering everybody a fucking fortune not to go because they saw what it was and they saw who it was and they said, okay, we've been through this before and it was a stiffer fight then. We've got nothing to worry about.
How big will Cody versus Punk be in
Guess I'm on guard
WWE?
duty.
It'll be ginormous. Those two programs, are you kidding? I'm not kidding. Who else can the WWE bring in that will cause more stir and draw more attention and provide us with a little more entertaining promos in the wrestling world today than CM Punk?
That's
It is missing brain.
It's not missing. He has the brain. It's in in his head. Returned to his head.
It was returned. I'm just going to put somebody. We bring in to business with and try to make money with and not some.
We'll see what happens. There's some background noise. I apologize for that. But we're going to today and first of all, this is the special edition update. CM Punk, founder, FIRED, I would say professional wrestling. It's still, I guess the experience.
The experience.
That's right. I think there's someone noisy, but we're champion for that now. The great Brian last.
Fuck this game.
Thanks, that helped. That helped. Thanks.
That helped.
Thanks, that helped.
I'm glad you're all right. Take a second to restock your supplies, right? Understood. Yes.
Calm down.
You did it before. You'll do it again. I believe in you. Be careful.
Something is definitely different from before. We should be careful. have to destroy them before the fire spreads.
No! Don't repeat me, boy.
Because if you're right once,
Yes. Understood.
Yes. Is there anything you need? I was asked to give this to you, Hunter. Goodbye.
Hey. What are we making today? Got something in mind? Hello. Ready to get to work? Got something in mind? Yaha. Got something in mind?
That's it. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm ready to work. Alrighty. Perfection. Hello. Now that's a good choice.
Nice.
Wipe that up, please. Wipe it up, buddy. Wipe it up. And just wipe that up. Thank you. Wash your hands.
There's a special event going on at the Grand Hub. Should we check it out? Yep. Got something in mind? Hello. Look good? All right. Perfection. I'm ready to work. All right. Perfection. Ready to work. Oh, perfection. Ready to get to work? Alrighty. Perfection. Ready to work. All right. Perfection. Ready to get to work? Perfection. Hello. Got something in mind? I'm ready to work. Alrighty. Perfection. I'm ready to work. Alrighty. Perfection. Hello. Look good? Alrighty. Perfection. I'm ready to work. Perfection. I'm ready to work. Perfection. Look good? Alright. Perfection. Got something in mind? I'm ready to work. Alright. Perfection. Hello. I'm ready to work. Alright. Perfection.
Look good? Oh, perfection. Hello. Ready to get to work? Alrighty, perfection. Ready to get to work? Oh, perfection. Hello. Ready to get to work? Oh, perfection. Look good? Alright. Perfection. Hello. Ready to get to work? Alright. Perfection. I'm ready to work. Perfection. Perfection. I'm ready to work. Oh, perfection. Look good? Alrighty, perfection. Got something in mind? What are we making today? something in mind? Got something in mind? Anything catch your eye? What are we making today? What are we making today? Now that's a good choice.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Yes.
Understood.